Hi, I'm Steve Campbell.
And I'm Lisa Campbell.
We're the owners of Campbell Ranch Vineyard here in Annapolis, California, and have been supplying fruit for 𝑵𝒆𝒙𝒕's winery for about 15 years.
Well, it was kind of traumatic closing the mill after 50 years. His grandparents started it and he ran it for a long time, but it was just the times when we needed to do something else. But yeah, doing the grapes, I was really excited. I was raised on a dairy and always loved to be outside, loved the whole farming thing, and I always thought that it would be wonderful here. All the years that he was doing the temperature readings, we kept talking about doing it, and then just life took over and we didn't do it back then. But yeah, it was
She's been very active in it also.
Yeah.
She's always in harvest. She's always...
I used to drive the tractor for harvest, which I loved. Now I mow. I don't think that the mower that he uses behind his big tractor does a good job that's good enough, so I made him buy me a big lawn style tractor. So I go behind him and remow what I think he didn't do right. So yeah, I'm out there a lot. It's a wonderful life. I love it.
We kind of modeled our first planting, which was 16 acres, and we planted half 115 and half 777. Then we started planting probably about 5 acres a year for the next several years to get up to 36 acres. And the next planting we did was all 777. And then after that we started planting 877 and 777 in block 11 and 10. And those are the main areas where I think where 𝒵𝒆𝒙𝒕 get their grapes. We have some Syrah, about 2 acres of Syrah. We have about 1.5 acres of Chardonnay, and then as far as the other clones in the Pinot Noir, we have a little bit of Clara and a little bit of VR, but that's about it for the clones. I think the location here is really excellent, and that just happens to be where we were located when my grandparents bought the property. The 700 feet takes away the majority of the problem for frost, so we don't have any frost protection and haven't really needed it. It also it also eliminates the real cold weather from the coast, but allows a cooler weather to come in the evening time, which extends the ripening period and helps with the character in the grapes.
Yeah, it's typical for the fog to roll in about 5, 6 o'clock at night, and then it'll burn off by 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. And then what's the average temperature here? It's in the mid-70s, I guess, during most of the summer.
Yeah, we don't get too many days over 85.
Yeah, very rarely. It's always cool in the evenings.
Yeah, we weren't affected by the smoke last year. There was smoke. Because of the coastal breeze and everything, it keeps the smoke back away from us somewhat. South of us, there were some problems with some smoke, but we were real fortunate not having a smoke problem for the last several years.
Yeah, the coastal breeze would kind of help that. Yeah, we didn't. We had a smoke problem one year.
2008, I think it was.
Right, and that was from a fire up in Mendocino County that just drifted down these canyons and would just hang in here day after day. And that was a problem then, but for the most part, the Walbridge fire last year was 15 miles from us.
Yeah.
And we really...
But the winds kept it to the south of us.
Yeah. Because predominantly you're going to get the onshore flow. Once in a while we get the offshore, which would bring the smoke over, but mostly it's coming from the other direction.
Yeah. We use a vertical trellis, and when we first put it in, our intention was that we want to be able to have the capability of machine harvesting at some point, which we did try one year when 𝒕 de Bois had the grapes, but we have always been hand picking at night since then. And then 3 years ago we started putting a spreader in a few of the blocks, and that seemed like that's really helped with the separation. It's only like a 12-inch spreader, but it seems like it helps with the separation. It keeps the fruit from hanging one on top of the other. It keeps that mass out of the middle there. That's helped a lot.
Just makes it more challenging with the tractor going down the row. Yeah.
We have the pond. It's a 30-acre-foot pond, so it has a lot of water in it for what we use. We generally don't start irrigating until sometime about right now. We'll put in maybe a little bit here and there, but for the most part, I think we're supposed to put like 4 gallons on now, and we usually don't do that much, but we have a drip irrigation system, and that's part of my job. I do all the tractor driving and the irrigation, and then irrigation repair, flushing, all that kind of stuff. Mowing. We do have a vineyard manager that comes in and takes care of all the leafing and the harvest time, pruning, and shoot positioning, and dropping fruit. They're supposed to come in and drop fruit next week. In early August, they'll come in and do leafing, and they'll separate the clusters out, take leaves off on the east side so there's a better sun exposure to the grapes, and also allows, when I do spraying, to get the spray in to combat the botrytis or powder mildew type things. Then after that, right around the late part of August, before they pick, they'll come in and do what they normally call a green drop, and they'll take any fruit that is green or even kind of a rosy red, light red, and they'll drop those clusters. They also do some positioning, take bunches out that are touching and in danger of causing more botrytis, and they do that. And then after that fruit drop, then generally the sugars will jump within the next week or so, where all the energy can go towards the clusters that are ripening and not be wasted on the green fruit. And if they don't do that drop, then those grapes are behind, and then in another 2 weeks, 3 weeks, they'll color up, so they'll look the same as the other clusters, but they're going to be behind in flavors and sugar, and this allows for a more uniform type product.
Yeah.
In the very beginning, we tried to do it ourselves, and we tried to pick our own fruit. And that turned to be, that just didn't work out. We didn't have enough ability to get laborers, especially here in Annapolis, where we're quite a ways from everybody. So now we use a vineyard manager, and they supply the picking crews, and I don't really have to worry about that. I just have to deliver the grapes once they're picked.
Yeah, they'll bring in a whole crew. Last week they brought in 50 people,
yeah.
And they got the leafing done.
Yeah, they're leafing really fast because they brought in a huge crew, and they'll do the same thing, but they do pick all at night too. So they use headlights and use the little headlights you put on your head, and then they also use lights behind the tractor. They do an amazing job. You go through after a night's pick, and you don't see where they miss very much fruit at all. It's kind of astonishing to me how well they can do at night. But it gets to the winery cooler that way, because they'll be done picking by 6 o'clock, and I'll get on the road by 7:30, something like that. And Annapolis is a challenge because it's probably 3 hours to our closest, to Papa Pietro Perry, so it takes a while to get the fruit to them.
Yeah. So you're usually ready by 8 o'clock to take it.
And if I time everything right, I can get to Papa Pietro Perry just about 11 to 12 o'clock, right when they're getting ready to serve their harvest lunch, which I get to partake in.
He loves that.